things and meetings and boring diocesan things.
Oh yeah, I'm glad you get
So
to go
telling
to
the office. It's on record anyway.
So you have to earn the right to be heard. Pope Paul wrote about this, that people listen more to people than to teachers these days. I can't remember the exact quote. Basically, you have to earn their trust. And once you earn their trust, what you say is going to be a lot more credible once they know that you're authentic.
Presence.
It's a ministry of presence. It's more of a ministry of presence versus preparation or presentation. So it's funny, I was at the eye doctor and he was asking what I did. So I'm a youth minister at a Catholic church. And he's like, so what are you going to do today? You can go hang out with some kids? I'm like, no. He's like, well, you going to like prepare a lesson? I'm like, no. He said, what are you going to do? And I had to think, I'm like, well, I got a lot of office work to do. But I'm doing that to empower you to be able to be out there. Now, I want to get to know some of the teams, but my focus is going to be more on the we won't zap you. Is going to be more on the leadership team within the leaders in the youth ministry, because you can only really get to know a certain number of kids. I'll comment on this. It's always gender to gender. You're not trying to be their best friend. You're not, but you're not trying to be just a superficial kind of, I have to talk to you because I'm a core member and I'm assigned to, so, this is why I'm calling you. Josh asked me to do it, But at the same time, if you get too close, it's going to raise some eyebrows. No meeting them for coffee by yourself. If you're going to do that with the whole group. So, at least at this point in where we are in youth ministry, if you need to meet, if you feel like it would be advantageous for you to meet with them one-on-one, then I need to know about it. It needs to be in a controlled, safe environment, both for your protection and for theirs. The fun factor, I think that speaks for itself. Now I want to talk about cough drops. How you can reach out through Facebook. None of the teens use Twitter. I don't think they do, at least. They may, but I'm pretty sure they don't. How many of you have a Facebook profile? How many of you are active on it? I know you are. Okay. If you're not on Facebook, you don't have to go up and sign up for an account today. But this is the way I'm thinking of how this can work. Say we have a special event coming up, like this snow tubing trip on February 25th, which you can read more about on the website. With those kids that you're assigned to, if you use Facebook, don't send them a private message. It's not safe. But what you can do, because their parents can't see it, unless they have their password, which they should, but not all of them do, and it opens you up to having that inappropriate one-on-one relationship. But do post on their Facebook wall, hey, Samantha, are you going to be able to come to the snow tubing trip? Or something like that, where everyone can see it. And then do that with those who you are friends with Facebook on. Do not friend them, but invite them to friend you verbally. In other words, if you make them take the initiative. That's the safe environment policy of the Diocese of Richmond, where I came from. You can be friends with them, but they friend you. It's kind of creepy when you friend them. Now this archdiocese say don't use Facebook at all, period. We don't, but Father Laffey says let's be practical. They keep saying they're going to come out with some policies, and Facebook's been on for what, 7 or 8 years Facebook has been around. And this is what kills me about things in the Catholic Church sometimes. It's like, you know, by the time you come out with your stupid paper document, it's going to be obsolete. If you don't use Facebook, you can do the same thing with a phone call. If you send an email, they don't use email.
No.
Email their parents. So, you know, as you're doing this, you're not just reaching out to the teens, but also the parents.
Yeah, and I think particularly with the young, like yesterday at the pool party last night, because I kept saying to Grace, talking up with the girls at school, and because she
Right.
said nobody knew about it.
Right.
So I think with the kids at the junior high, you definitely have to contact the parents because they drive the car, they make the
Yeah.
schedule. I would just say for those of us in the junior high group.
And not as many of the junior high ones are on Facebook either.
Right.
So
Yeah,
it's
Grace is
gonna
not
be-
on Facebook, so.
Technically, you have to be 14 to be on Facebook. They just lie about their age.
Right.
Mhm.
No,
Would you
she's
say
absolutely
don't
right.
contact, if they happen to have a cell phone, don't contact their personal cell phone, just contact the family phone?
Use
or-
discretion. I think the family phone's the best way. There are certain teens who text back and forth with me, but you just use discretion. It shouldn't be like, you know, 1,000 texts or anything. You can send a text message out usually to a group of people, so that's okay. So, but you have to plan. You don't fail, or was it you don't plan to fail? You fail to plan. Relationships first, and promotion second. The only time you should be contacting them or seeing them shouldn't just be about the next event. You know, ask, and then there's some conversation starters a little bit more in this handout. But don't make the only time you're contacting them when you're asking them to come to something, which is probably how most of you feel about me. Because most of all, when you see that start of C number, you figure, oh, it's Josh calling me to ask to do something. I apologize.
Yep, I think so.
It is, again, if you're able to, try to see what's going on in their exam schedule and their sports calendars, and be in touch with me too about what's going on when exams are coming up, and because there's so many schools and homeschool and everything, I can't possibly. I think I asked at the beginning, can I have all the school calendars? Because where I came from is more rural, and there's just like 3 you had to coordinate. But here, it's so spread out. But within your group, you should know. But spring breaks and things like that. It is a good idea, I think, to try to do one kind of outreach that is attend something outside of the parish that they're involved in, make that special effort for each teen in your group once a semester, and sometimes that either might be like 2 involved in the same thing, so you can hit 2 birds with one stone. But
That's a terrible
that would be
expression.
kind of a goal. We probably won't make it there, all of us, for every teen, but I think that's something that is a somewhat realistic goal. But plan as a team. If you have more than one core member on a team, which it may end up being, then you can kind of work together. And maybe you have a core support person who's willing to kind of do this stuff too. And they can help you out with it. Here's some ideas of things. Campus visits. No, don't do that. It used to be pretty common. The youth ministers would come out. We all used to always think they were creepy because they would always hang out with the teenage girls at lunch at school. Sports and tournaments, musicals, choral, band concerts, dance performances. Being a chaperone, a dance chaperone. Graduations. Graduations are big because again, there's going to be more than one there.
True, except
You have to
some
get-
graduations limit how many people can
That
attend.
is true. Yeah.
Oh, they
So
all do
you-
here.
Yeah.
So,
Ugh,
That's
I
hard to do.
hate graduations.
well,
There you go,
probably
you don't have a
won't
ticket.
go
Well, you
to
won't
the-
have to go,
won't get an
Josh.
extra ticket for you.
Yeah, I almost didn't go to my own graduation. It's the same cheesy talk at everyone, go change the world, right?
Especially if it's a public school.
Yeah, yeah. It's,
Door-to-door invitation.
birthday cards and postcards are good.
Really?
Yeah. You know, with notes of encouragement. Especially like if they have a feast day or something.
We're thinking of bringing a niece and a nephew or high schoolers to parish camp. Are you gonna have anything at parish camp? It's youth groupish?
I'm not
I mean,
sure
they're already
we're
running
gonna have
around
Parish
doing
Camp this
stuff.
year.
Really?
Yeah. But I mean, I
'Cause
don't
it's
know
so
what's there to
expensive.
me. It is expensive, and we don't have much money, so, yeah,
so
but,
much.
It's
That
so
is
much
not
fun, though.
excuse, we had camper ships.
yeah.
No, I mean,
he's
she
talking
means
about
the
the
parish.
parish.
The parish can't
Because the
afford
parish
it.
so heavily subsidizes it,
Yeah.
so,
So we have
I-
to find a donor for that too. Is that what you're telling me?
yeah, but if we do, it would be a great thing. If anything's organized, just prior,
Yeah.
that's right around the time when I'll have a newborn.
Yes, you
Oh.
will.
Yeah.
That's his
We
excuse.
probably,
Poor plan.
but I think probably we don't want to do too much youth ministry stuff there because, we want,
It's families.
yeah, we
It's
want more
family.
family rather than the teens doing so.
All right.
Okay, this is a fun part.
Oh my
Types of
gosh.
teens.
Types
If you have kids, it'd be fun to kind of see which ones they are. Let's start with the label queen and king. Image is everything. And they've got the latest computer, phones, MP3 players. So, suggestions. Look for inner beauty. Work to develop inner character. And don't show off your newest toys in an effort to look cool. Those of us who have iPhones.
That's funny.
Do you have, this isn't the same one, do you have this one? The
It
handout?
should be soul to soul.
yeah, we
No, we don't
have
have
that
that.
one.
So I'm sorry. You gave us,
Oh.
you gave us this.
Yeah, I
We're
would
just
love
being nice.
Well, at least you realized that before you got into the meat of it.
We're
Here it
being
is.
No,
Be
Priscilla,
nice,
you get
feel
those
good.
papers from him, girly. We're being nice.
Yeah, politically
Be
correct.
nice.
Thank you, sorry.
Okay.
I was looking for it, I can't see it on here.
Mom just went to
So the label king and queen. This is
I love Don't Show.
the dating games, the
Oh, yeah.
flirts, and the Casanovas. Yeah, these you see can cause confusion and division, a lot of drama. Our PDA policy is that there is none.
Okay.
Um,
Thank you. Thanks.
And the modesty dress code. Know the modesty dress code and follow it yourself, even if you think it's too conservative. We are erring on the side of conservative, but follow it, know it, and if you see it being violated, obviously it has to be same gender correction. Mention it to the person. If it's really, really bad, I don't know. We might have to give them a T-shirt. That's what
Yeah,
they're
set it
agreeing
in
to.
there, right?
But if it's kind of borderline, or if it's like their first time there and you really think they'll be embarrassed, you just if you need to ask me the discretion. But
Just have them wear
If
their
it's a
jacket.
guest.
but if it's a guest. But even if it's a guest, if it's really, really bad,
Yeah.
so. But please know it. The skirts are to come to the knees for girls, and it's not even, no tight clothing, and that's kind of subjective, isn't it? So,
Can you buy skirts that come to the knees this year for teens? I'm just asking.